Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I made this point before and I will keep making it because I think it's going to happen. And that is, I'm making a prediction, maybe an assessment. I'm not making a prediction like an astrologist over here. And that is Armenia. Armenia will try to trigger to start something in the Caucasus, something that the West is waiting for, the same thing as they were waiting for in Ukraine, they're waiting for unfortunately, in the Balkans, they're waiting for in Far East, in Taiwan, and it started in the Middle East. All this have one common denominator, Al Capone. So what's happening? I covered this situation before between Azerbaijan and Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh, and I figured things out this way. We have a few guys over there, which is the Prime Minister and the Armenian ambassador to London, to Great Britain, who I think are working for other interests, not for the Armenian interest. I have a gut feeling or a ball feeling, okay? Let's put it this way. My left ball gives me this. So they are trying to create something which is, we're gonna fight, and the Russians come here and we're gonna open a second front. Now, I hope that Armenia is independent. I hope that Azerbaijan is independent. Georgia is independent. All countries are sovereign and independent. But the problem is that the world doesn't work like that. You have a few big lions, some a little bit bigger than the other ones, and the rest are little jackals, coyotes, that they have to be around someone. They can't function alone, unless you have a little coyote with a nuclear weapon, all right? You know who I'm referring to. Or maybe two of these guys, but the other one is not really a coyote because owns some lions. Who that is, you figured it out. Now, what's going on here? Armenia, and this is the Prime Minister, is warning that Azerbaijan might militarily aggress his country. Not impossible, but I think it's something else. Remember, Armenia receives from France, that country, military equipment. That's just the beginning. Now, let me show you this little article that I have here, coming from the Kiev Independent. Armenian Prime Minister wants to warns of threat of military aggression from Azerbaijan. I'm going to show you maps so you understand what's going on, who's who, what's what. The Prime Minister, this is one that I think is a little bit in cahoots with foreign interests. Now, where is this country of Armenia? Here is the Caucasus. This is the Black Sea. Here is the Caspian Sea. This is Armenia right here. Unfortunately for Armenia, it is a landlocked country with Turkey to the west, if you can tell, and that's a no-no. With Iran in the south, that's a no-no. With Azerbaijan in the east, and that's a no-no. And you got Georgia in the north. Georgia also is part of this little group of countries that will try to get Russia into something here. Georgia has access to the Black Sea. So Armenia without Georgia has not 1% chance, has 0% chance of doing anything. You got Turkey, you got Iran, Azerbaijan is going to be squashed. Georgia, I think, that will also try something of the same kind Armenia is trying. I think Russia will not have patience with them. But let me show you another map so you understand when this is Russia right here with some provinces or whatever you want to call them. And here it is. This is the Caucasus right here on the right side of the image. Here is Caspian Sea, this is the Black Sea, this is Georgia, this is Armenia right here by the corner of my frame. And then you have obviously Ukraine and so on. So they're very close to what's going on in Ukraine. So they would be, if they come this way, which I think it's not necessary to win, to beat the Russians, but it's like a little net a little fly that comes in, it's irritating. That's what it is. Well, as I said, I want Armenia to be independent. I don't want it to be the vassal state of Russia or the vassal state of Al Capone, France, or those guys over there. Because if you try that, you're gonna have Ukraine style help. So let's go and see this little article, see what else they say. How did I figure out, or I think that this guy and the ambassador to London, Armenian ambassador to London, are on someone else's payroll? By their statements. Watch my videos regarding Armenia where I explained more about it. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan said Azerbaijan may be preparing for military aggression against his country as the term Western Azerbaijan has become increasingly popular in public discourse in Azerbaijan. Very possible. So what is Armenia going to do? Armenia is going to call the friends from 5,000 miles away, I'm exaggerating, instead of dealing with the guys next door. Remember the Monroe Doctrine? Our backyard in the Western Hemisphere? Their backyard. So that they told the Europeans, stay out of South America. That's our backyard. That was the Monroe Doctrine. They warned the Europeans, the Americans, don't come here and do your little thing. And they stayed away. Why? Vassal states. Here, the same thing, Russia stayed away from Caucasus. Why? You're too close for my comfort. All right, so remember, when the Americans implemented their Monroe Doctrine, they didn't have, fighter jets or missiles or anything like that can hit you like that. They were like boats. And they stayed away from here, and some and they still said a Monroe Doctrine. All right, so during a November 18th speech at the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly in Yerevan, Pashinyan claimed Azerbaijan media, schools and universities had started calling Armenia this way, warning the rhetoric could signal Baku's desire to start an offensive military operation. Could be, but if you are to, what are they going to do with Armenians? Let's say Azerbaijan takes over Armenia. Are they going to commit what the Western neighbors did? Would they do that? I think then everybody's going to go and hit Azerbaijan for that. You can't do that. Remember what happened in Kosovo? So maybe if those guys do something against these guys, NATO will intervene with full force, the United Nations, like they did in Yugoslavia in 1999. By the way, it was not any United Nations Security Council resolution voted for that. It was voted, but it was turned down. The U.S. State Secretary of State Antony Blinken warned a select group of lawmakers that Azerbaijan might be planning to invade Armenia in the coming weeks. October 13th. Got it? So these guys are waiting at the same common denominator, Al Capone, everywhere. Officials familiar with the discussion told Politico that Blinken spoke about the possibility of an invasion in a conference call on October 3rd. The call addressed officials' questions about the U.S. response to Azerbaijan's September offensive in Nagorno-Karabakh, with Israeli weapons, mind you. Yes. During the call, Blinken reportedly told lawmakers that the State Department will not renew an established agreement that permits the U.S. to offer Azerbaijan military aid. So that's France's baby. That means you're going to be losing. But this is Azerbaijan, not Armenia. So it's the other way around. So they will not give Azerbaijan anything, but probably going to give Armenia, because the French were first ones to come over there. But no, it was not, because if you remember, there were about 80 or 90 U.S. troops in Armenia conducting a security training. So they are over there already, and that's how they started with Ukraine. Again, you can be independent, but you have a lion sitting next door and you want another lion from far away to come and fight this lion for you? No, you're gonna fight this guy, the big lion, with your people for that lion over there. That's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's happening in Ukraine. The Ukrainians are fighting for those guys. Oh, for our freedom, our territory. Yeah. You know, they switched it to that. The point is, those guys, that big lion wants to destroy this lion, but is a coward or a sneaky guy. But lions are not sneaky. Lions are just they're strong and courageous. They just go and fight. They're not sneaky. Lizards and snakes and hyenas, these guys, and coyotes and jackals, these are sneaky. So that lion acts like a hyena, not even like a hyena, like a coyote. So is he a lion? Lionheart? I don't think so. So he fights with everybody else and he stays around. You can say that's smart. But from some perspective, that's weakness. You're a garbage. Why don't you go and solve your problem? You want other people solve it for you? And you create all kind of, they want to destroy your national, they want to destroy your history, they want to destroy, with pathos. Instead of those guys turning around and say, why don't you go and fight this guy? You avoided fighting in 1945 and you gave us to the Soviets. Again, strong? No, because you didn't have weasels to fight for you at that time. Now you do. And not for you, because you got the right people in the right position, like this prime minister, for instance. In the same conversation, Blinken warned that Azerbaijan may invade southern Armenia. In mid-September, the Azerbaijani military launched a lightning offensive against Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, an unrecognized Armenian state within the territory of Azerbaijan. Local authorities eventually surrendered in a ceasefire mediated by Russia, the lion next door. A former decree was later signed dissolving all official institutions of the breakaway state from January 1st, 2024, following Azerbaijan's victory. Around 100,000 people have left Nagorno-Karabakh for Armenia. Well, this is it, my friends. Get ready, because these guys want to start something. But Armenia without Georgia, so look for Georgia. When things happen in Georgia, and they will start probably by December, from what I heard. By December, or no, not by before January, let's put it this way. So in a month and a half, things will probably start happening in Georgia, some spontaneous demonstrations, regime change kind of thing. And then you're going to have Armenia. You'll see. That's my prediction. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.